Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley, along with Tim Fitzgerald. Welcome to Big 12 Insiders pregame show, going over all of the games that are going to happen this weekend within the Big 12 Conference. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily, to me, Fitz, doesn't really have the same pizzazz as last week's slate of games. Although there's more games, it just doesn't have the legitimacy type of atmosphere as last week. But still, look, this is the Big 12 Conference, man. Anything can happen. And just when you expect something to be the same, it's not going to be the same. So that's what I'm looking forward to this weekend. More importantly, I'm just looking forward to some good football, Fitz.
Yeah, I agree. We got a full slate. Some interesting matchups. Every game last week seemed like it had some context in the bigger picture of the Big 12. There's maybe a few stinkers on here, some mismatches, but as we know in the Big 12, the mismatches often turn out to be the upsets.
Absolutely. So we're going to dive into this here. Again, everybody, before we get started, remember to like, follow, subscribe, continue to leave those comments, and always hit that notification bell so you will know exactly when Big 12 Insiders content comes out. So let's dive into this. So first things first, on Friday night, we still got Friday night games going, and I love it. I know it's tough on high school football in the area or wherever, but the Big 12's committed to doing this, so I'm committed to watching it. Oklahoma State going to BYU. Night game in Provo. You know how that can be, Fitz. Game's going to be on ESPN. BYU is kind of a heavy favorite, 9.5-point favorite in this game. Oklahoma State is in turmoil. It seems, the last three games, they've gotten the doors blown off of them. I don't know, man. This one could get ugly. But here's what I will say. Mike Gundy's teams always come off of a bye different than what they did going into the bye. If this is the case, then they can make a game of this. But if they've quit, which a Mike Gundy team usually doesn't quit before the bye, so if they've got this thing figured out, this can be a game. But if not, Fitz, this one will be over fairly early.
Yeah, I don't see a path to victory for Oklahoma State. I just don't. I think BYU is a really good football team. Oklahoma State's a mess. They got quarterback issues, and they've got running back issues. They got issues. They got a lot of issues. The coach is getting headbutted by cattle. Things are going badly in Stillwater, and I know one way not to fix your problems. Go to Provo and play them at night.
Oof.
Yeah. I'm all over BYU on this one. I think this is going to be a mismatch.
I do too. I think it gets ugly. Unfortunately, I would like to be wrong. Because I want to see competitive football. I just don't. Look, at some point, everybody's going to have to start giving BYU credit, and for being a good football team, I'm giving them their credit. They deserve it. I think they put the screws to Oklahoma State. I really think they do. I'm not even going to go over the over-under because I like the 9.5. I'm taking BYU in the 9.5 on this one.
Yeah.
So, next up, we got Arizona State at Cincinnati. In a lot of people's opinion, this might be the best game of the weekend. It's one of those games, Fitz, it's not getting a lot of, let's just call it shine. 11 a.m., it's on ESPN Plus. I'm like, come on, ESPN. You could move some things around if you want to, but they didn't. Here's the thing. Sam Leavitt is not playing for Arizona State. The game is going to be, like I mentioned, it's 11 a.m. That's Central Time. It's 9 a.m. in Arizona. So they're going to be playing early. Now, I know they've upped their practices and their meetings and everything, up an hour early to try to get used to the time, but there's still the travel and having to get up and go play a football game at 9 a.m. in the morning and without your starting quarterback. All of that is tough. Cincinnati is playing better. Played a really good defensive game last week, Fitz, which, we hadn't seen a lot of that out of them outside of the Houston game, but they're playing better defense. It's going to be tough. Cincinnati -5 here Arizona State, again, without their quarterback.
Yeah.
But they do look, Jeff Sims, turnover prone Fitz. He was at Georgia Tech. He was at Nebraska. But he does have experience. And that's the thing. When you're going on the road, I don't think you could ask for a better situation for Arizona State. With all the issues that are coming into this game, you got a quarterback. At least he does have experience on the road.
Yeah. I mean, that might give him some hope. We saw that around the league. You got to have a backup in this league. You just do. It's too rough. We see injuries all the time. So I like Cincinnati in this one, though. I think the Bearcats are beginning to feel themselves. That they now feel like they really are a good team. They probably look back at their Pitt game and kick themselves. But I think this is a game Cincinnati wins and covers. I think they're in a good position right now.
I do too. Quarterback's playing well. Cincinnati can also run the football. That's one thing that they could do last year. Even when Cincinnati was bad last year, they ran the football. Well, now they've got a quarterback. They hit on the quarterback in the transfer portal. They got some things going for them. Look, I'd love to see if Sam Levitt was the quarterback. I'd like to see this game, but unfortunately, he's not going to be playing. But I think I like Cincinnati in this one, -5. Moving on, Houston at Kansas, 2:30 ESPN Plus. Now, there's a game that should be on ESPN Plus. But KU -4.5, both off a bye. Look, I'll say this. If Kansas can't get right in this game, I won't pick Kansas to win another game the rest of the season. I'll be flat out honest. If they can't, and again, this is not disrespect to Houston. Kansas has a talented roster. They have a talented coaching staff, supposedly. So if we have all of these things, at some point you got to win a football game.
Yep.
You got to win a football game. And and here's what I will say this too, Fitz. They give this game away in the fourth quarter like they have the last 5 games, they will quit. And they won't win another football game this season. I can almost guarantee that. So I'm going to take Kansas. I like Kansas in this game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring, though. 47.5. Houston's defense is good, Fitz, and it's been traveling. I mean, it went to Iowa State. Look, you can even say Iowa State went through the motions, but Houston stopped what Iowa State was trying to do. You know, it was at home. I get it, but bottom line is Houston's defense is pretty good. But I'm going to go ahead and take Kansas.
I think this is a must-win for Kansas. I think you nailed it. This is the point of no return. If they lose to Houston in front of mostly empty Arrowhead Stadium, it's time to turn in the pads for the season, and they will. How do you not?
Yeah.
When you come in with such high hopes and then everything just comes apart, this is as close to a must-win for 2 of the bottom teams in the conference as you'll ever see. Kansas better be the more hungry team, but I don't think there's a guarantee they will be.
No, I don't think so either. But I'm just going to say talent wins the day, and I don't think there's enough talent left, or there's not enough talent yet at Houston to be able to beat another team that's this talented on the road. But we'll see. Yep. I mean, they sure were. They beat TCU, and TCU's got a load of talent there. I think the coaching's a lot different at Kansas versus TCU, but that's just me talking. Hey, what do I know? So next game up, we got Colorado at Arizona. Very intriguing game here. Colorado's getting some of their receivers back that got hurt in the Kansas State game. Arizona coming off the last couple of weeks, taking their lumps. I thought Arizona was a better football team. I watched Colorado become and was a better football team. It's at Arizona, 3 p.m. on Fox. Arizona, 3-point favorite in this one. I don't know, Fitz. I don't know.
I think they've got the wrong team favored.
Yeah,
I do. I feel like that Colorado team we got to see in person last week is going to win this game. But Arizona's been hard to figure out. They've played some really good games, and they've also laid some around the conference. So I find it hard to believe they're favored. I think I would be more comfortable, as a gambler if this was a pick 'em, but I would have to pick Colorado on that spread. I mean, the odds indicated scores like 31-28 in favor of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I think Colorado's going to score more than that. I just do.
Yeah, I think they will too. I think Colorado's going to put some points on the board. Look, Shedeur Sanders has shown, even under duress, he can throw the football around. I think that's going to continue. I think Colorado wins this one on the road and stays in the Big 12 title race. I think Colorado wins it. We got Baylor going to Texas Tech. A lot of Texas Tech fans out there are buzzed. They're just furious, not getting the respect that they deserve. Quite frankly, I agree as far as the rankings are concerned. How is Texas Tech not ranked? I mean, come on. What are we doing here, people? I understand certainty, but you got Michigan still ranked. We watch. Michigan is not a good football team. They don't even have a quarterback that's worth anything, but yet here they are still ranked. What are we doing? But I like Texas Tech in this game. Look, we talked about this earlier this week. Baylor's fighting, but at some point the fighting will stop if you don't get results, and they're not getting the results, and they will stop fighting eventually. I just don't see it. I think Texas Tech is a better football team. Now, I've seen crazier things, and if you look at the spread on this one, Fitz, you would think Tech should be favored by 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
6.5. Vegas knows something, man. They always seem to know something. I don't like this one.
Yeah, that's a weird spread, man. That is a weird spread. Tech at home playing good football is less than a touchdown favorite over Baylor that's not playing good football.
Correct. I don't like it. Yeah,
I know. It's so obvious to take Tech that I don't want to do it. You know, it's like they always know, Brian. How do they always know?
I would say 58.5 on the over-under. I would take the over and just ride that thing out because, like I said, 6.5 at home. You're playing well. The best football you've played all year off a bye. Baylor is on the edge of quitting, but still only 6.5. Yeah, you can have that. I do like Tech to win the game, though. Just so we're talking. I like Tech to win the game, but yeah, you can keep that 6.5 right to yourself.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
UCF at Iowa State. Here again, we've got another game. Now, this spread makes a little bit more sense. UCF been getting their teeth kicked in the last 3 weeks. Iowa State coming off playing really good football. Big win on the road in Morgantown last week. This one's at 6:30 on FS1. Iowa State, on the other hand, favored by 13.5. Now, that sounds about right.
Yeah, you know, I want to say this is going to be a blowout, but I'm going to say it's going to be a blowout. And I'll probably be wrong about that because that's the way this conference goes. But UCF looks like it's about time to cash in themselves. They're skidding. They're falling apart. They're looking at a coaching change. The fans are upset that it should be. Yeah, I think this has got Iowa State written all over it.
Well, here's the portal giveth and the portal taketh away. Cincinnati, they hit on their quarterback in the transfer portal. UCF, they missed on their quarterback in the transfer portal. And that's the difference, man. Because UCF, I feel like, can run the football, but when you can't throw it and teams know it, they're going to be able to just stack the box and stop you from running. That's what's happened the last couple of weeks. UCF's also been turning the football over at an alarming rate. And Jiminy Christmas. I mean, last week, just right out of the gate, just here's 14 points because we're going to give you the football. And they can't recover. So if they do that at Iowa State, look, Iowa State's going to be methodical anyway and probably score on UCF whenever they want. But if you give them the football, then they stop you. I mean, this thing will be 28-0 before you blink your eyes. So I like Iowa State. I'm with you on this one, Fitz. I think it's a blowout. I don't think UCF's going to be able to do anything. And here, we're both saying that. Watch UCF win the game. This conference.
I think if you took 12 fans that know college football, they would all said, UCF, don't put your money on KJ Jefferson. Don't do it. No, he's not. No, but they did it. Now look at him. That was a horrible decision in recruiting. It just was. He wasn't going to be the solution. He wasn't going to improve their room. Nah, man, what a What a misguided choice of quarterback that was.
Yeah. And again, that's not, it's just, he wasn't that great at Arkansas. He was okay, but that wasn't the guy. I mean, there's plenty of guys that were out there that could have run that offense for them.
Yep.
Versus a guy that was an iffy thrower of the football. And this is what you get. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for UCF fans. K-State goes to West Virginia. Travels, they go west. Now they go east, both playing in the mountains. But K-State at West Virginia, 6:30 on Fox, big time game. There's a lot going on at West Virginia, Fitz. I've said it multiple times, and I'll say it again. And nobody's going to be able to convince me otherwise. I just don't care what they say. Neil Brown quit. His comments are of a coach that has quit, that's just said, hey, I hope you were entertained. That's the main thing. Doesn't matter if we win. I know you're disappointed that we win, but hey, you had a good time tailgating. I hope you had fun, which basically is saying, I hope you got drunk. I hope you were fine. What? How do you? I don't know. I don't know. This is not his first rodeo as being a head coach. He should know better. He didn't. He's feeling the pressure, and this is how he responded. It wasn't taken out of context either, people. For anybody that's saying that, they're lying. He said this when somebody asked him a question. Not an egregious question either. They just asked him, and this was his response. So a lot going on there. I don't know. I like K-State in this one. It's -3 K-State. I think it'll be more than that. They're going to force Garrett Green to beat him. Garrett Green will throw him a couple of interceptions. I love Garrett Green's grit. I love his fight. But I think K-State will be able to stop them from running the football and make them throw it, and that will be the downfall. I like K-State in this one.
The other side of that is that K-State got pretty beat up in the secondary.
He did.
And they may not have their top corner for this game. And this is kind of the Neil Brown save or die game.
Yeah.
I feel like that. If they beat K-State, all's forgiven for what he said. Maybe not how the team's been playing, but for what he said. But if they lose, man, it's just that going to get so hot in Morgantown because of what he said. People are just outright going to turn on him after that if they lose. And it's going to get ugly. I like Neil Brown, but dude, what were you thinking, man? What the most important thing in athletics for a coach is winning. I mean, there's some other things you can accomplish along the way and some things you don't need to screw up, or, you can't have a bunch of criminals unless you're at Georgia and keep your job. So win.
Yeah.
That's fun, Neil.
Yes.
Winning is fun.
Yes. Winning also takes care of everything else too, Fitz. Yep. You win, people come to the game, they buy merchandise, concessions, all that stuff. But I don't know. Whatever.
It was weird, man. It was weird.
It's just it's weird. It's just weird. Here's the thing that to me is so baffling that he said this. I could see if they were 3-5 and they lost a tough game or something like that. They're 3-3. But if West Virginia, literally, they control their own destiny to get to the college football playoff. Now, think about that when I said that. They still can go win the conference. Yep. They have that opportunity to get to Arlington, go win it, and they will be in the conference or in the college football playoff. That all can still happen because they're only 2-1 in the conference, people. So it's crazy that he buckled under the pressure like that. But quite honestly, Fitz, I don't think he buckled under the pressure. I think the guy's just like, hey, you want to buy me out? Buy me out. It's not going the way that I thought it was going to go. Yep. Sorry. So
this is the most downtrodden 2-1 team you'll ever find in the conference.
Yeah.
The world's ending, and they're 2-1 in the conference with the chance to knock off a ranked team. So
correct.
Crazy. This is an interesting position of this game for Kansas State. They're coming off a emotional road game in which it was very physical against Colorado. They're heading back on the road, and next week they come home to play their rivalry game in Kansas. So this is a game that potentially K-State could not have full focus on and lose it. So I find this one interesting, but I also think we're going to know fairly early in this game where it's going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last but not least, TCU goes to Utah. Utah's got its own issues going on right now. Haven't played good in the last couple of weeks. And look, quarterback play has been an issue. Cam Rising, God bless him, hurt again, out for the year. I'll say this: Cam Rising can't come back and play college football. I said it when we did our we did a spotlight on Utah. And I'll just say this again real quick. Sometimes your body will tell you what to do. You know, sometimes when you're playing football, sometimes it just says, hey, man, I know you're a good player, but I'm not built for this. And that's your body talking to you, not your mind. It's just, so I'm not saying he's weak mentally. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying his body is just saying enough is enough. And that's just what happens, man. Just enough is enough. Yep. So, but back to this football game. TCU, I mean, I don't know, Fitz. I pretty much think TCU's finished. I would not be surprised. I know a lot of people are saying that they wouldn't make a coaching change. I'm not going to be surprised if they do. I quite frankly would not be surprised, because TCU should be better than this. Right. And maybe they'll salvage their season. You know, maybe the bye, maybe this is what they need to turn it around. Again, not a good place to go to try to turn it around, going to Utah at night. And Utah coming off a couple of losses are going to be looking to kick somebody's face in. But intriguing game, 9:30 ESPN, Utah -4.5. I like Utah.
Someone needs this win. One of these two programs need this win big time. I think it's going to be Utah because they're at home, but I don't know. I mean, TCU should be better than they are, period. End of story. They shouldn't be this bad, Brian. No. They're kind of like Kansas. Explain this, how they're losing these games. But they are. And I'm not sure it can be fixed or not. I'm certainly not sure, TCU won't make a coaching change. I mean, when you see a guy go from the national championship game to back-to-back seasons like this, if it plays out that way, man, you got to question what he's doing, because maybe it was the other guy's players. I feel for Utah. It's time to move on. From Cam. Yeah. It's a cold reality of the sports world. But even if he wants to play next season, I think it's time to say, well, we're going to go with someone else.
Correct.
You have been incredible for this program, but we can't keep this 2 seasons in a row where we thought you were going to carry us somewhere and you got carried off the field.
Correct.
And it's gone south on us. So we need to stabilize. I don't know if he keeps playing, but I don't think if he does play that 8th season, which is absurd, I don't think it'll be in Utah. I think he'll go somewhere.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think so too. And again, he might be a guy that just says, you know what, I'm done with this.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of NFL future that he has. I don't think much, but who knows? Who knows what can happen? But and it's like you said, it's a cruel reality, and it's really unfortunate because he's meant a ton to that Utah program. But it's just time. It's just time, unfortunately. So, all right, Fitz. Well, we got through the games.
Yep.
You're going to the game in Morgantown.
Yep.
So you will be there in the concession stand again. I will say this, Fitz. Now, being at the game in Boulder, I was expecting something. I thought I was going to get some kind of food, some kind of something.
Mm-hmm.
People, I just want to tell you, I didn't get anything in the press box. Okay. My food for the day, I got more food when I went to a restaurant at the hotel than I did watching the football game. That's blasphemy, Fitz. It just, you can't have that. Literally nothing. I just went and bought some popcorn. I was like, what is going on here? I just so disappointed.
Well,
so disappointed.
Me, I forgot to tell you about the food vouchers for the free hot dogs at the concession stand. Yeah. So the hot dog was really good. Oh. And you know me, there's no such thing as a bad hot dog.
No,
there's a less good hot dog, but they're all good.
Well, and you know me, I grew up going to my dad's high school football games where they, the hot dog, it's lukewarm. Mm-hmm. They wrap that bun around it super tight so it's super soggy and put it in some foil. To me, that's heaven. I grew up on that. I would have loved to have that. Didn't know about the food voucher. I'm disappointed. So I bought popcorn. Can't happen again. Can't happen again. What are we doing? What's that?
We'll get food in West Virginia. I can't remember what they serve typically, but we'll get food. And It will be better than that hot dog, even though the hot dog was good. I also got a brat, and that was pretty good too.
You know, speaking of brat, you know what? My wife loves, but my wife goes overboard when it comes to Saturday and Sunday making food for football. She loves it, loves to take care of me. That's why I love her so much. I wonder what a chili cheese brat will do on the game day. Chili cheese brat. I'm thinking I may dive into that a little bit, Fitz. Chili cheese. Now, look, I'm trying to keep my figure slim, but that's for all week. The weekend, all bets are off. All bets are off, which is probably why I can't lose any weight because I lose, and I put it back on Saturday and Sunday. But chili cheese brat.
I have not heard. Why hasn't anyone done that?
I don't know. I've never done it before either. So in the comments, people, let me know. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? I've never had a chili cheese brat before. Never. Maybe it should be Italian sausage. But I'm thinking something better than a hot dog. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna look up some recipes and find out. It may not be good. My stomach might say, excuse me, Big B, get out of here. This is getting out. So we'll see what happens.
Now, last week we talked about press box etiquette.
Yeah.
And what to do and not to do. Well, they only had one bathroom for both sexes.
Correct.
Up there.
It was weird.
Thank God nobody did the press box poop. Thank God. Because that press box wasn't very big. We were all going to get it. We were all going to have it hit us in the face. So thank you. That might be why they don't actually serve food, is they don't want you doing that. It's time to update the press box, Colorado. It is time to expand a little bit.
I'm sure it had asbestos in it and all that good stuff for us. Oh man, well, thanks everybody again for tuning in, man. This has been fun. Big 12 Insiders preview show. Should be a fun weekend of college football within the Big 12 again. Maybe not marquee matchups, but I'm just telling you, just watch the games. There's going to be something crazy that happens this weekend. It always does. So appreciate everybody again. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell so you know when all Big 12 Insider stuff comes out. We will talk to you next week. We appreciate you guys. See you later.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.